All right, Akim, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yamushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth, and salutations to the sincere Akim and Akwath and your listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Raquai. I'm back in here with another quick lesson, and for today, I wanted to just go through a quick article that I stumbled across, and I've titled the lesson "Something in the Water," right? And without further ado, let me actually just jump right in. So I came across this clip on YouTube from this channel known as Redacted Online. What I'll do, I will link the the uh, the clip in the description so you have an idea of what they were talking about. So essentially, I don't want to play it, just because I don't want to get I guess a copyright strike or anything like that. But I'll read the description. It says, excuse me, my voice is a bit raspy, but it says, is fluoride in the water bad for you? The government knows it is and has been forced to admit it in the landmark lawsuit in California, and as journalist Derek Brose has been following this acutely. He fills us in on why the case has been left out in the mainstream media and what we have learned from it. Right, so it's so this journalist, he's being interviewed by this woman here, and essentially, he discusses the pitfalls of actually having this chemical known as fluoride in the water, right? So what I want to do first, before I actually, as a matter of fact, let me go into this. Boy, let me open up with this precept first. Just bear with me on this. Okay, this is Jeremiah 49:10, and it says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not," right? So this is going into a lot of the wickedness that Esau has done, perpetuated into the earth. Because, pursuant to Job 9:24, the earth is given into his hands, right? And he is the wicked that has been, perpetuating his vibration upon the earth, right? And one of the things that he's done, not only when we talk about Job 9:24, we normally talk about him defacing the images of Yahweh Shai and the angels and so on and so forth. But a lot of the wicked things that he's done is perpetuate, I guess, a turning upside down of righteousness, right? And taking things that are natural and kind of perversing it. And one of the things that he's done, for example, in this clip and this video I want to go into, is the fact that he's perverse something that's so essential, for human life. That's water itself, right? So without further ado, what I want to do right now, I want to read a little paragraph that from this book I have here, right, to get a little bit more insight, right? So just bear with me on this. So here in my hands, I have a book called $1 Trillion Conspiracy. So it goes into a lot of the, excuse me, it goes into a lot of the unrighteous decrees that Esau has pushed forth, into the earth, right? So one of the things that he's pushed forth, and these different mandates that he's pushed forth, is fluoridated water, right? So what does that mean? So let's get into it. So here, this is page 100, and it says, I'll start at, just give me 1 second. Okay, I'll jump around. So here it says, the Reader's Digest Oxford Complete Word Finder defines fluoride as a mere binary compound of fluorine, but fluorine was defined as a poisonous pale yellow gaseous element of the halogen group. And if you look at the periodic table, if I'm not mistaken, fluorine is one of those It's one of the dangerous metals, I think, and believe in column 7. So in column 8, I believe you have noble gases. And then in column 7, you have, I forgot what the gases are called. Just correct me. I know it's in column 7 for sure, because I believe there's like 8 columns on the periodic table, right? And that seventh column is like one of the more toxic gases, right? So here it says Charles Elliott Perkins, a prominent U.S. industrial chemist, was sent by the U.S. government to help reconstruct the IG Farben chemical plants in Germany at the end of the war. In 1954, he wrote a letter to the Lee Foundation of Nutritional Research stating that he had learned the Nazi regime had used sodium fluoride as a means of mass control. Right. So earlier I said that they described fluoride as a mere binary compound of fluorine. Right. So they kind of downplaying the what's it called, the effects of this particular element, right? So I'm gonna get that precept in a second. um, I want to make this very definite and very positive, Perkins wrote. The real reason behind water fluoridation is not benefit to children's teeth. The real purpose behind water fluoridation is to reduce the resistance of the masses to domination and control and loss of liberty. Repeated doses of this infinitesimal amounts of fluorine will in time gradually reduce the individual's power to resist domination by slowly poisoning and narcoticizing this area of brain tissue, making him submissive to the will of those wish to govern him. So, so this is what Esau is doing, right? It's not for, essentially, it's not for your children's benefit, right? It's actually for your downfall. So let me get that precept. It's a precept in Sirach. Just bear with me on this. Okay, this is Sirach 19, verse 27. Oh, slack here. Let me just start at 26. So here it says, there is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly, but inwardly he is full of deceit, casting down his countenance and making as if he heard not. Where he is known, he will do thee a mischief before thou be aware. So, right, this is the things that Esau does, and another tactic that he does is using word magic. And because he was, earlier, in the paragraph I was reading, that they tried to describe as something fluoride, excuse me, as something that is, for your benefit, to help you. You can help improve your health, kind of like the the syringe, if you know what I'm saying, that they were pushing forth a couple years ago, excuse me, right? This is one of the ways that this is the way your enemy fights, and this is something that you Israelites need and ought to know. This is how your enemy fights. He uses, words, and he uses the sword, right? So your sword is your modern day, military weapon, biological weapon, so on and so forth, right? And this is something that you Israelites need to know and understand. It's not only knowing who you are, it's also knowing how your enemy fights, right? Verse 28, it says, if for want of power he be hindered from sinning, yet when he find an opportunity, he will do evil, right? And this is one of his devices that he's doing to push forth this evil, push forth this wickedness, right? And using the children to do so, even adults, because I remember, for example, last year when I went to the dentist, at the end of your so-called cleaning, they always tell you to take this little cup of fluoride, right? And I think one time I took it, but I think the time before that I didn't take it, because this is going to the crafty devices of Esau, right? This is how your enemy fights, right? So further on, it says, what did I leave off? Just bear with me on this. Okay, I read that. 1 second. So essentially, from the paragraph I read, just to recap, it's a way for your brain to become a lot more it's slowly it one it a it slowly poisons your brain, and then two, it makes the person more submissive. So whatever agenda that they push forth, they don't have a lot of resistance. They would have somebody who's just willing to submit and take whatever there is that is given to them, right? Just to recap. So it says, I will say this with all the earnestness and sincerity of a scientist who has spent nearly 20 years researching into the chemistry, biochemistry, physiology, and pathology of fluorine. Any person who drinks artificially fluoridated water for a period of over a of 1 year or more will never again be the same person, mentally or physically. Most people don't realize that fluoride is a key ingredient in Prozac and many of the psychotropic drugs. Prozac, I believe Prozac actually, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the antidepressants, right? Let me just Google that. Let me just make sure. I believe so. I believe it's an antidepressant. Okay, it works by increasing the levels of serotonin in the brain. Serotonin is thought to have a good influence in mood, emotion, and sleep. Yes, yes, it is an antidepressant. Nope, hold on. Oh, yes, it is an antidepressant. Here it says so. Right, it goes under another name, fluoxetine, if I'm saying that right. Right. Let's get another. Let's get Habakkuk. Okay, let's thou art so Habakkuk 2:16, and it reads, Thou art filled with shame for glory, excuse me. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The Lord of the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Right, and this is part of that shameful spewing that is being exposed. Because Esau. A lot of the things that Esau has done in the past year, in the past couple of years with the seedemic, and even in the past 20, 30 years is all coming out now. And another thing that recently happened with those fakers that came out of the the so-called synagogue, and and they were coming out of it with stained mattresses and blood all over the mattresses and baby high chairs and so on and so forth. So a lot of like the scriptures say that as a matter of fact, let me get it. I'm completely drawing a blank right now. Luke 8 verse 17, and it reads, Yahushua said, For nothing is secret thou shalt not be made manifest, neither anything that shall not be known and come abroad. Right, so things are coming to manifest, things are being made known through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, through the apostles and elders on down. Right. So moving on, it says, so now we learned what Prozac is. And further on, just a little bit more here, it says, though fluoride purportedly prevents tooth decay, so supposedly, it has also shown an effect to affect decay in children under 12. Today, 2/3 of all municipal water and most bottled water in the United States contains sodium fluoride. fluoride is a poisonous waste product of aluminum um, manufacture that accumulates in the human body. The use of aluminum cookware has been strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease, progressive brain disorder that gradually destroys a person's memory and ability to learn, right? And this is why we're growing up with a lot of children these days that are completely stupid, because of a lot of the wicked devices that Esau does. The water, there is what's it called? There are all these different chemicals that makes that's another thing too. There's a lot that's making men feminine and making the women more masculine. You know, where is it? Just to touch on that quick point, since they said municipality. Okay, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48, and it says, "Thou art." Okay, so it says, excuse me, "Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things." And that's one of the points I wanted to bring out, because they were saying that in the chapter I'm reading here, that a majority of the municipalities that are located in the United States have this chemical flowing in its water today. And one of the curses that fell upon us as Israelites is the fact that we would have to go to our enemies for the want of all things, right? So this is one of the things, this is one of the examples, right? Because we're in a situation and we're in a captivity where we don't own our own like natural resources. We don't have that control, right? So we would have to go to the enemies for everything essentially, right? So I'm going to wrap it up right here. It kind of continues going into something else, but I just wanted to touch on that really quickly in the book. And what I wanted to do now, I just wanted to get another preset. Just bear with me 1 second. Let's see. Okay, this is Sirach 39, verse 26, and it says, "The principal things for the whole use of a man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing." Verse 27, "All these things are good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil," right? And this is what Esau has done. He's turned these principal things, and then he's turned it into something that has works against humanity, right? Works against our people, works against what is natural, the way the Heavenly Father Yahweh Bashim Shai naturally created things, right? For today, we have to do so much upkeep, like today in 2024 we have to do a lot of upkeep just to stay healthy. And we look at the ways our forefathers what's it called lived, right? Because they were living with a righteous mindset. They weren't living with a wicked mindset, a very perverse mindset, and pushing that vibration upon the people. The scriptures say that when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, and when the righteous in authority, the people rejoice, right? So let's as a matter of fact, since it says honey, right, let me just get a quick example. I forget what chapter that is. First. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 24, and it says, "And the men of Israel were distressed that the day that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be one on mine enemies. So none of the people tasted any food, and all they of the land came into a wood, and there was honey upon the ground. And when the people come into the wood, behold, the honey dropped, but no man put his hand in to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. Right. So Saul was bugging out, and the people, they were looking to kind of like replenish themselves. But verse 27, and it says, but Jonathan heard not what his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore, he put forth to the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in an honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. Wow. So just imagine like the amount of upkeep that we have to do in today's day and age. We have to take all these supplements to stay healthy, because there's chemicals in the food. We have to wash our vegetables. They spray with all these different chemicals. You have to watch what you eat, this and so forth. But all Jonathan did, for those who don't know, Jonathan is the son of Saul, right? All he did was to actually, just take a little bit of honey, and he was replenished. As a matter of fact, what is that word? It says enlightened. I wonder what that word says in the Hebrew. Just bear with me one sec. I just want to. 14. I just want to see what that word says. Ra'ah. So here it says to be illuminated, become lighted up, to make shine, right? So anyways, I just wanted to look that up really quickly, what it says for enlightened, and um, anyways, I think I'll just cut it off, right here. I don't want to go too long with the lesson, but hopefully, this video, truly was edifying. And I just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Till next time, I say Shalom.